Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Iris Celeste, and as you can see from the title of this video, I will be showing you guys how to start off with a build in Roblox Studio, because it's been brought to my attention that many of you know how to build and how to add on to a build, but you don't know how to make a build from scratch. So that's what I'll be teaching you guys today. There will be 4 main steps that I'll be showing you guys, and I'll also be showing you both terrain and builds. While I'm also teaching you, I'm going to be using the same exact steps to make the background that you currently see. But don't worry, I promise it was not made beforehand. I literally recorded this tutorial while making this world, so do not worry. I got you. This is legitimate. Before we get into this video, I do recommend watching my first few. If you're a complete beginner, go watch those and then you come back, because you'll have a better understanding of everything I'm saying and you won't have to ask too many questions. But without further ado, let's get right on to the video. Alright, so the first thing I want to make sure that everybody has before they start with their build is some type of idea. It doesn't have to be anything super specific. It could be a color, a type of vibe you want to give off, whether you know you want it to be exterior or interior, anything like that. Just as long as you have some type of small little picture inside of your head that you want it to look like. Just have an idea ready. Now for my idea, because I will be showing you guys examples, I want to use the color pink. Right now your girl is feeling some pink, so that is exactly what my brain is going for right now.
Alright, so now that we all have our ideas ready, the next thing we're going to do is make sure that you have a reference. Now, your references do not have to be an exact replica of whatever you're thinking inside of your mind. Just go either on Google, Pinterest, or Tumblr, whatever website that you want to use to go get your reference photos, and look for something specific inside of those pictures that has caught your eye, that kind of like makes you spark up when you see it. Like, it matches what's inside of your head, not all the way, but something in the photo. Like, for example, say I want to make a bedroom and I want it to be pink, like my color, and I'm looking at pink bedrooms, and all of a sudden I see one bedroom, everything I hate in it except the bed set. It's okay to save that photo as a reference because you like the bed set. Everything in the photo does not have to look exactly the way you want it. Just find specific things that you know for a fact you're like, hey, that goes exactly with my idea. That's what reference photos are for. Now, my tip would be to probably have around 4 to 5 reference photos, just because while you're building, you could always look back at them and be reminded of whatever you want. They help you build for different aspects. So say you want a specific piece of land to look a certain way. Go find a reference photo of whatever land kind of, you know, relates to whatever you're thinking inside of your head. That's what the reference is for. So it's always amazing to have references to always look back on, just in case you forget what you want it to look like. Now that you have your idea and references, the next thing you want to do is make sure that whatever space you're building in is comfortable for you. That could be your base plate, your sky, anything. Just make a place to where you're comfortable. Usually what I do, and here's an example on the screen, is sometimes I'll make my base plate a little smaller than what it usually is, because if you take an NPC and you go and you measure it, you'll realize that your workspace is usually a lot bigger than what you're probably going to build. So it's always smart to either size it down, or you can actually change the material and everything else about your base plate. So another thing that you can also do is set the mood for your world, which means that you can actually change the skybox. When you change the skybox, you are able to move the entire mood of your world to whatever you are initially thinking of. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and show you 4 different examples of things that you can use to change the mood of whatever base plate you're building on, just so you can be able to have a more comfortable environment within your building. So here they are up on the screen. You can read them. I have examples up there. Alright, so now that we're going on to the next step, I do want to make sure that I let everybody know that no, the next step is not the end of the video. I will still be going over both categories, terrain and building, specifically just because they can be massively different, and I want to make sure that everyone has a very deep understanding of how to choose what for which category. Alright, so the 4th category is where you're actually going to finally start building. I know those 3 other steps seem to be a little long in the video, but I promise as soon as you actually get used to it, it'll be automatic just like that. So for the 4th one, the first thing you want to do is visualize exactly what you want to build first. Whatever is the clearest in your mind at the moment, you are going to start building it. it can either be a base, like an actual base, like say there's 5 walls, I consider that a base. Or if you want to start off with details that might be on the wall, do it, because whatever is clearest inside of your mind, that is the best part to start working on. You can't start working on something that you're not really too sure about, because obviously you're going to get stressed. Start working on something that you know exactly how you want to build it, how you're going to do it, and it's clear inside of your head.
Alright everybody, now that we're finally done explaining the 4 steps, it's finally time to move on to both categories, build and terrain. I will be first going over building, but if you want to go ahead and skip over the terrain, here is the timestamp for that right here. But without further ado, let's go all the way back to step 1, specifically for building.
Alright, so this is just a reminder that we will be going over what I did for this specific build on your screen. So for my ideas, like I said, the first thing you want to do is pick from one of these categories, and the ones that I chose was color, and I wanted a futuristic type vibe. Probably wondering why. How did I come up with that? Well, currently I was actually hosting a challenge in my Discord server, and with that you had to do nature and a specific color with the nature because it had to look unnatural. So to me, when I think of an unnatural color for nature, I think of pink, because you don't really see pink unless you're looking at flowers. So that was what gave me my idea. And of course, if you're having problems choosing your own ideas, I'd say go on Pinterest, Google, and just start looking around at pictures, or go on Twitter and look at other people's creations. There are tons and tons online to give you ideas. You could be watching my speed builds, somebody else's, anything. Just get that idea down. Alrighty, so now that we're on to step 2, which is going to be references. I personally loved my references. I went on Pinterest and I just started looking. I typed in pink, futuristic pink, and the ones that came up was this really pretty window color. They had some beautiful windows. Here's the picture right here, and I absolutely loved the windows. I don't know why, but it spoke to me. It was pink and it was looking futuristic to me. So I went ahead and downloaded it, saved it as a reference photo. That's usually what you want to do. Not everything inside of the picture has to look exactly the way you want it. Just choose one specific detail about it, and if you like it, save it. You might be able to use it later on. The second picture I chose was really different because I was not expecting something like this, and what I liked in the photo was so basic that I probably could have come up with it myself, but you know, that's what references are for. So they had stairs. I was not going to use the stairs, but the thing that intrigued me was actually the white wall next to it. The white wall, for some reason, it popped. I loved the way it popped, and so I just decided to use it as a reference, and that I would make a whole bunch of white pillars inside of my build. That's what I had decided with this beautiful reference. Alrighty, now on to step 3. Now I will say, when I did make this build, I had already had my landscaping done, so I'll just go ahead and I'll teach you guys how to make your environment comfortable when you're starting out on a fresh base plate and nothing is already there. So here are the 5 different categories that you can use to make your building environment a lot more comfortable. First, we're going to start off with the skybox. So while you're inside of your world, the first thing I always do personally is I look for a specific skybox. Now I never know exactly which one is going to look right, so I do end up just pressing random ones. So the way to do this is you want to open up your toolbox, and in your model section you want to go ahead and type in the word sky. And as soon as you do that, you will see a bunch of different pictures, I want to say categories, but different pictures of what each sky can look like. And all you have to do now is just click on whatever one that looks the prettiest to you, or looks like that you want to use it. Now usually if you don't like it, all you do is just have to go into your Explorer tab, look for lighting, press that, and you'll see that there is a sky section below it. If you don't like it, all you do is gotta delete it. And like I said, once you delete it, just keep looking for some until you like what you see. Alright, for the next category, it is going to be sun position. Now personally, I don't really use this one too much. I usually do it after I start a build, but just in case you want to use it, I do have a plugin down below that just allows you to activate the plugin and click wherever you want on the map, and your sun will be positioned there. I have it right here on your screen, so I'm not going to go too into detail with that because I legit just explained it. Super duper simple.
amazing. I love it. Alright, so the next thing is not obviously, but it's going to be the size of your base plate. Now I already told you guys the size of your base plate can matter. It depends on how big your build is going to be. If it kind of like mind boggles you that your space is like super duper big and your build is going to be small, sometimes that can throw you off. So obviously you want to size it down sometimes. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. All you're going to want to do is spawn in a base plate world and open up your Explorer. Once you get your Explorer open, you want to click your workspace and that'll bring down your base plate. You're going to want to click your base plate, because if you go in and try to click your base plate from inside the game, inside your screen right here, it's not going to work. So you have to click it from your Explorer. And once you do that, you'll be able to regularly go into your move categories, your home, and be able to scale it to however you want as long as it is clicked inside of your Explorer. If my words are confusing, just go ahead and look on the screen and it's right here. That is the fastest way I can explain it to you, so this video isn't too long, but that is how you do it. And all you want to do is just size it to however you want your build to be, like how big you want it to be. If you don't know the measurements, just go ahead and spawn in a weird NPC and go ahead and try to measure as best as possible. If the measurements are not correct, you can always just resize it anytime you want. And along with that, you can also change your base plate material, which all you do again is have to go to your Explorer, select your base plate, and change the color and material just like usual. Like I said, if you don't know how to do that, go to my other videos. I already explained it. It's super duper easy. All you do is have to change it to whatever you like, and obviously you have a better environment, whatever is comfortable for you, you know, you gonna do you. Alrighty, so now that we are finally on the last one, for the first category, it is going to be how to start off your build now that you have your environment ready. And to me, this is the best, hardest, fun part, if that makes sense. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your references from step 2 and you're going to put them in front of you. And the best way to start a build is to start with whatever is clearest to you inside of your head. So say you have an image inside of your head and you know for a fact, I know for a fact that I wanted those windows. So the first thing I'm obviously going to start with was the windows, because I know how I'm going to build it, I know how I want it to look, and I can execute it. It's the easiest thing to start with. So you should start off with the easiest thing that you can think of inside of your head. And then from there you can go ahead and move on. The second thing I did was obviously make the pillars, because like I said, I already had a reference for it and I knew exactly how I had pictured it inside of my head. And from there on, you just want to keep on doing that. Sometimes if you don't know what to do, just do something random until you find a way to make whatever you were thinking. Now I'm going to reiterate that so it can be a little more detailed. Now say I have this picture in front of me. Here's a picture inside of my head, but as you can see, a lot of it is actually blurred out, because inside of your head you won't always know exactly how you want things to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a specific part that I know for a fact that I want inside of my build, and I'm going to start off with that. It can either be your base, it can be a detail, it can be absolutely anything. If you know exactly how you want your floors to be inside of a build, start with the floors. Just start. It doesn't have to be a specific part. There is no right or wrong way to start off with a build. Just start off with what is clearest in your mind, and as you go on, the rest of it will become clear to you. Alrighty, we are finally moving on to the terrain category. Now I'm gonna actually go through this quite fast because I don't want this video to be super duper long. So the first thing, which is the first step, is your ideas. Now I have actually already showed you my ideas for this one, which is going to be the same one as my building. It is going to be pink, except for this one I actually already had trees that I had already remodeled. Not remodeled, but I recolored them. They're not my trees, I recolored them. But I knew that I wanted that object inside of my world. That was a part of my idea. Now for the second step, I went ahead and already had references. Like I showed you earlier in the video, I actually already showed them. So for the first image, as you saw, this image had a lot of hilly landscaping. When you're messing with terrain and you want references, you always want to look for specific land characteristics in those pictures. In this particular one, it was very hilly. Now for the next reference that I used, I did not like how the mountains looked, because they were very sharp mountains. But what I did like was the type of vibe that that picture gave off to me. So when you're messing with terrain, you always want to look for the vibe and reference and how the landmarks look inside of that picture. Alright, so on to step 3. Like I said, this was gonna go super fast because I don't want to make this video too long. Now, to make your terrain comfortable, you're usually going to start out with a terrain world. If not, go ahead and just add terrain into your world. If you don't know how to do that, I will be coming out with a tutorial later on. It is not posted yet, but if it is, it'll be up in the eye below. Here's the little arrow pointing up at the eye. Now, for terrain and making yourself comfortable, you want to have a skybox. If you don't know how to add a skybox, I'm going to go ahead and put this timestamp here so you can go back in the video and look at that, and then you can come right back to this time point. But you want to go ahead and add your skybox to make yourself feel comfortable. And with this particular build, the way I made myself feel comfortable was I actually changed the color of my terrain, which I will be showing you in this video. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and already have your terrain down. You want to open up your Explorer and your Properties tabs. Now what you want to do is you want to open up your terrain and your Explorer, and once you click that, you'll notice that your properties change a little bit. And once you look down in your properties, you'll notice that there is a selection called Material Colors. Click to expand. You want to go ahead and click that, and once you click it, you'll notice all these beautiful different categories that you have with your terrain. You want to go ahead and click your grass, because that's particularly what I'm using, or whatever material that you decided to use for your terrain, and you want to go ahead and you want to change the color to whatever makes you most comfortable. Alright, another thing that you can do, which I already explained before, but I'm going to say it again, is the size of your world. Even with terrain, sometimes if you make it a little too big, you'll end up feeling super duper overwhelmed, because this time, since you're actually messing with exactly how the terrain looks, you might be a little mad because you're like, oh, it doesn't look the way I want it to. It's okay. Start off with small sections and just make it bigger as you go. It is okay. I feel like if you're new to terrain, use a small space. Personally, when I did it, I used a big space because I was just clicking everywhere and I just wanted to figure out how to do it. But if you're more of a person who gets really irritated, I'd say probably go with a really small world and just work your way up. Alrighty, my loves, we are finally on to the last part of the video, which is going to be step 4 for terrain. Now let me tell you, terrain is going to be a pain in the butt when you start, and I promise you it's always going to be like this. I'm still like this. I've been doing terrain for maybe a few months now. I think I'm okay. I think I'm pretty good. But starting off, always use your references. Use the reference that I told you that needs to kind of almost replicate exactly what you want. Start off with that and try to replicate what you see inside of that picture. Now the reason why I'm saying that is because when you first begin to replicate that picture with your terrain, you'll end up moving into a flow of actually doing your own thing while you're doing it. Like for this one, I already showed you my reference. I actually ended up adding a river. Probably like why, I don't know. Something in me was like, river. I'm done with the first mountain hill. I want to add a river. I promise you that is how it's going to work. That's how it works with building. You end up just finding how to start, and then you start moving into a flow of how you want your terrain to look. And obviously you can always go look for more references just in case you need help, and if something does not look right, it's okay, you can start over. When you're messing with building or terrain, you do not need to keep what you put. That is key to building. It is okay to mess up. Please do not force yourself to use a world that you are not happy with. It's okay to start over. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, and for those of you who are in my challenge, it's okay. You have time. I give enough time. I will coach you through if you want me to. My Discord is down below. Feel free to always ask me questions. But that's basically just step 4 is just to try to replicate what's clearest in your mind, what's clearest in the reference, try to make it, and then just keep doing it until you begin to slowly start flowing into your own rhythm with it. Now, if you're not good or you don't know the tools of terrain,
don't worry, I will be coming out with a tutorial in the next few days. I'm trying to get it all out for you guys so people in the challenge can hurry up and be like, yeah, I got this. I got you, okay? But without further ado, let's head into the outro of today's video. Alrighty, you guys, welcome to the end of the video. Before you click off, don't click off yet. I promise I have more to say. If this helped you, please let me know in the comment section down below, because if this did not help you, I will make another tutorial, a better way of explaining it. Please explain it to me. If something was not, you know, making sense in your head, please let me know. But if it did, please let me know that it helped you, what part you loved the most, and what other tutorials that you want to see from me. But without going into too much detail, if you guys want to know what the challenge is that I was talking about throughout this video, make sure to go join my Discord link down below. And when you get into the server, all you have to do is choose your roles, verify, and when you choose your roles, all you do is just have to choose the event ping role. And once you click that role, you'll be seeing some special channels. It says special events, and you can look at all the rules there. You have until May 12th to finish this beautiful challenge. I'm not going to go into detail, but make sure you join. Also, I have a Twitter now, so if you want to go follow me on my Twitter, you can, and look at what I'm doing. And I also have an Instagram, links down below. Make sure you go follow me because I'm looking out to branch. Oh, and one more thing, if you're good at social media, please hit me up because I need somebody to help me with my social media. But without further ado, I love you all. Let me know if this helped you. If it did not, comment down below what you need help with. It's okay, you don't have to bash me, but you can, you know, help me get better with these tutorials. I love you all, and I will see you next video. Bye bye, my loves.